Volodymyr Zelensky has become a global icon in recent years, the face of Ukraine's resistance against the Russian invasion. But behind the image of the brave wartime leader, there's a much more complex and controversial figure, one that deserves a closer, more critical look. Zelensky wasn't always a politician. In fact, he's a trained lawyer who never practiced law. Instead, he found his calling in comedy and television. He created and starred in one of Ukraine's most popular satirical TV shows, Servant of the People, in which he played a schoolteacher who unexpectedly becomes president. The irony? That exact storyline played out in real life when Zelensky launched his presidential bid in 2019, backed by the very production company he once led, and won with over 70% of the vote. It was a media stunt turned political reality. He entered office with promises of transparency, peace, and anti-corruption reforms. But what has happened since then? His presidency has been marked by questionable decisions, unfulfilled promises, and a growing cult of personality. Zelensky has often been portrayed in the West as a modern-day Churchill, but his leadership style has increasingly veered toward centralization of power. He has shut down opposition media, clamped down on political rivals, and made sweeping changes in government institutions under the banner of wartime necessity. Critics argue that his concentration of power resembles more an authoritarian pivot than a democratic consolidation. Despite advocating progressive policies, such as the legalization of medical cannabis and decriminalization of prostitution, his support for controversial laws and actions, especially those curtailing civil liberties, has sparked concern among human rights groups. Zelensky also has a history of inconsistent foreign policy positions. Once hailed for refusing a quid pro quo from Donald Trump, he has since walked a tightrope between Western expectations and internal nationalist pressures. His government has shown little tolerance for dissent, even as it relies heavily on Western aid and support. And yet, one of the most iconic moments of his presidency remains his decision not to flee Kyiv at the onset of Russia's invasion. "I need ammunition, not a ride," he declared to the world. That line immortalized him overnight. It was brave, but it was also perfectly crafted for the cameras. The question remains, where does the actor end and the politician begin? Zelensky's communication strategy, grounded in show business, has shaped public opinion both domestically and abroad. He understands the power of narrative, image, and emotion. But leadership in times of war demands more than charisma. It demands long-term vision, responsible governance, and a willingness to share power, even in crisis. Is Zelensky a hero? In the eyes of many, yes. But is he beyond criticism? Absolutely not. Follow our channel for more in-depth analysis. Hit the like button if you found this valuable, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you next time.